Yo, what is happening, gamers? Welcome to Gameplay, the esports show that keeps you in the know of all things high school and university esports. My name is Colin Tmanyame, aka Scar in the esports streets, and today, in this episode, we'll be focusing on some of the events that happened recently in the ASL League. Some grand finals took place, so we're going to be covering that. Alongside that, also, there's going to be the last AGC Memory we'll be covering. And then to end it off, we have our special guest interview. So, without any further ado, let's get right into it. So as I mentioned, jumping right in, we had some ASL Grand Finals that took place. So ASL has concluded for the year officially. We had our Grand Finals and we crowned our champions for each of the games that took place. Jumping right into the first one, we had Valorant action where we had Eldorain take on Swartkorp in a best-of-3 series where Swartkorp took the win 2-1 after going down one map in the first round and then pushing it all the way through to a map number 3 to crown themselves ASL Valorant champions. And then we had Overwatch where we saw Thomas More College take on Swartkorp in a best-of-3 as well, with TMC taking the win in a dominant 2-0 performance to crown themselves the champions of Overwatch 2 ASL. And then to finally end things off, we had our League of Legends. In League of Legends, we had PRG take on Uasmut in a best-of-3, and PRG took the win in a clean and swift 2-0 fashion to cement themselves as the League of Legends champions. So, as mentioned, we now have PRG as your League of Legends ASL champions, Thomas More College Overwatch 2 champions, and then Swartkorp will be the ones to take the Valorant crown. All right, now it is time for our pro tip segment. This is going to be a new segment that I've added in because I want you guys to stay on the ball. You need to be in tune with the meta. And some of Mzansi's best players in ESC 25 have been using this meta strategy. So let's see if you yourself can go to the top with what I'm about to share. Let's take a look. Yo, what is happening, folks? Welcome to your EAFC 25 pro tip, and I thought it'd be a great idea to actually share it with you at my setup so you guys can see what I'm doing play by play, move by move, player by player, so you have a better understanding and have a greater visual. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. Just jumping right into things, obviously we want to be setting our team and making sure everything is perfect, right? So obviously you can see I'm in a 4-3-3 and I know what y'all are thinking. I know what you want to say. Don't say anything about my team, okay? Supersport haven't given me my FIFA points yet. I'm kidding, they don't owe me any FIFA points. But obviously now we are getting ready and I thought to myself, you know, I also want to get better. So what tactics can I be using? So obviously these are tactics now that are being used by some of the top pro players, not only locally, but globally as well. So I'm going to be sharing these with you. So first of all, we're going to go to squad actions, team management, and then we're moving over to edit our tactic. So you wanted obviously your tactical preset to be custom. Moving down our formation, what we're looking for here is a 4-4-2 flat. So this is the current meta and what you will be seeing a lot of the pro players or, you know, players who are trying to get into the mix of things sort of be using. Moving down to our build-up playstyle, that's going to be on balanced. We want it to stay balanced. And then defensive approach, we will be looking at a high defensive approach. And then also what we want to be doing is we want to edit this and make sure that we're sitting at a 65. That is also what has been the optimal sort of idea for the pros as to what's the most ideal outcome when it comes to having your defensive approach on high. So that's what you have for your default tactics. And now let's move on to our player roles. So now we're on to our player roles, and this is going to be the individual roles that you're going to be giving to your players. Starting off with your goalkeeper, it is going to be very straightforward, very simple. When you click on goalkeeper and defend, you can keep it as is. That's perfectly fine. Then now when we're moving to our left back, what you want it to be on is you want it to be on full back and balance. So as is can still stay the same. That is perfectly fine. And then when you're looking at your center backs, defender and defend, that's still perfectly fine. So you won't really change too much. But when it comes to your right back, you want to change this sort of to a wing back. So you want it on wing back as well as balanced. So that is going to be more so the one that is going to be doing a lot of the up and down work. So just keep that as is. Now moving on to our right mid, what we want for our right mid is going to be an inside forward as well as balanced. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be clicking on there and then look for inside forward, and then you can keep it as balanced. And obviously it also gives you a description of also what these roles entail and what sort of groundwork the players will be sort of getting up to while giving them these instructions. And then moving over to our left mid, that is going to be on winger as well as balanced. So winger and balance, this is what you're going to be having for your left mid. Moving on to your left center mid, this is going to be your box to box as well as balanced. So this midfielder, you would need someone that is a powerhouse and workhorse in this position, because they're going to be doing a lot of the running work for your team. So make sure if you're going to be using this, you need to make sure you have the right players for each of these positions. And then moving on, we will be having holding as well as defend for your right central midfielder. So this is essentially going to be your defensive hold, or rather the player that's not really pushing up too much but going to be holding down the fort for your team in the midfield. Moving up to the side of your right forward, this is going to be sitting on false 9 as well as build up. So this is essentially going to be, you know, the one that's going to be playing off of the second striker. So they're not really the target man, but essentially going to be in support of your main striker. So you can sort of figure out what would be the best sort of striker and player for this role. I know y'all are thinking it, no, Haaland or Mbappe are not the ones for this one. Maybe you can find it to work, but I'm pretty sure for the next one, this is where you want your target man. So this is going to be on advanced forward as well as attack. So this is essentially your target man, the one that's going to be doing all of the working horse, or sort of workhorse play going forward, trying to get that ball in the back of the net. So make sure you have your powerhouse striker in this position to be going forward for you. But that is essentially everything you need to know for your EAFC Pro tip, and hopefully these instructions can help and maybe sort of improve your gameplay as well as your strategy going into your FC25 games. So now remember, just because I'm sharing this meta with you doesn't mean you'll become Tex overnight. You're not going to become the best in the world. You have to put in that work, you have to grind. But this is just to at least be able to see more and more talent surfacing, because it's always great to be seeing new potential and new players in the EAFC 25 Pro scene. So I hope to be seeing more of you utilizing this meta strategy and competing at the highest level. But moving on, let's talk about our next point. This is the final AGC memory I'll be sharing with you guys. This comes from students from the Anchor School, and they were talking about their win at the event and also their experience as a whole. Let's take a look.
Hi, my name is Sander Esterhuizen.
My name is Christian.
My name is Richard André.
We are from Gauteng, Johannesburg, Hoërskool die Anker.
The games are definitely challenging. We have a lot of different players with different skills. They are very good. Some of them are poor at the game, but it's very challenging. I say it's hard, difficult.
Van hulle was lekker, van hulle was moeilik. Daar was baie kompetisie. Daar was verskillende spelers, van die spelers was baie goed. Ek het dit geniet, dit was lekker.
Yes, it was extremely fun. Very grateful for the opportunity we had. It was very intense, and there was certainly a lot of competition. But yeah, it was just amazing. Yes, this is our first LAN experience ever, so we are extremely grateful for the opportunity.
Yes, this is me and my team's first LAN experience ever, and it's quite different, very different. A lot of people around us can hear what they are communicating to the teammates, and it's definitely more pressure than at home. We're comfortable.
Ja, dit is my eerste LAN experience. Dit is baie anderste, baie groter. Ek het dit nie verwag nie. Die mense is nice, almal.
You can feel the environment. I mean, the people are very nice in it, but you can feel it's not the same at home, like on your own setup. Everything just feels like different, but it was good.
Ons het saam in creative geoefen, ons het zone wars teen mekaar gespeel. Ek en my span het in 'n trios gaming gegaan. Ons het ons strats uitgewerk en ja,
At home, we play together a lot. Creative mode, public games against other people, just making sure we know what we have to do as a team.
I definitely did do some mentality stuff that motivated myself, and that's how I played.
Yes, we definitely gained a lot of experience from this, and next time when we come back, we will be better than ever and hopefully grab that first place trophy.
Ons het baie goeters geleer om saam te speel, nuwe strats, wat waar om te land. Dit was baie lekker. Ons het dit geniet, ja.
Yes, I learned that I doubted my opponents. I thought that I was this guy placing first, but no. Yeah, I learned that I should not be cocky, lower my ego, and definitely train harder, play more. Highlight was definitely coming third place in the nationals and celebrating it at home.
The highlight, I would say, is just meeting a lot of new people and all of the commentators and just having a great time with everyone.
Dat ons derde kon gekom het in die ASL.
My hopes for AGC 25 is to see a lot more people joining the community, to meet new people, and just have a great experience together.
My hopes are coming first place, obviously, and probably training and playing a lot of games with my fellow teammates.
That we can come first.
Thank you all for your support, and thank you to you all that doubted us.
Sterkte daai kant. Almal kan dit doen as julle julle harte in dit sit.
For my school, I would say we tried our best. We were extremely grateful. We were chosen for this opportunity, and we did our best. And next year, we will certainly come back and be on top.
Now, as I've mentioned, ASL now has finally concluded with our grand finals taking place, our champions being crowned. But that doesn't mean you don't have off-season action that you can be keeping up to date with. There are some events here and there, hidden gems that you'll be missing out if you're not following twitch.tv/African eSports or twitch.tv/Kuro eSports. And I've been saying, keep up to date with us here on Gameplay so I can keep you plugged on all of the eSports action that will be taking place. All right, now it's time for Take a Breather, take a short break, plug in my controller. I'm washed, I need my break, guys. I've been saying this time and time again. But on the other side of this, I have my special guest interview and the person that also supplied me with that pro tip. So I'll see you on the other side. What is happening, folks? Welcome back to the show, and now it's time for my special guest interview. I'm joined by Goliath Gaming's very own Hamza Musa, aka Hamza. Hamza, how are you doing today?
I'm good, and you?
I'm doing fantastic. So, Hamza, just already, before we get into the questions, you've done already so much. You're competing at the highest level. You've competed in multiple tournaments and come out on top. How does it feel competing in esports? Not a lot of people thought that's a possibility, but you're making it possible, right? How does it feel?
I'm incredibly proud of myself, and I'm showing that the impossible can be made possible.
Oh, that's amazing. And jumping right into things, you've competed for your school at the AGC event not too long ago, competing, representing them. How does it feel being able to represent your school competing for an esports title?
It's an incredible honor to represent my school in esports competitions. I feel really proud to wear my school badge and compete against other top schools. My school support has been amazing. They're always backing me, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity to represent them and make them proud.
That's fantastic. So what's the name of the school, and also what is your biggest dream and goal for the school actually?
I go to Marlborough Garden School, and my biggest goal is to bring esports into my school.
So with that, right, what is the benefactor of that? Because obviously we've seen more and more schools, competing. Do you think that it also helps the scene grow when we have more schools, especially like someone like your school coming into play? Does it also help the scene grow?
I feel like the more schools there are in the scene, the better it is.
For sure, indeed. So, you signed for Goliath Gaming in April. What is it like being a part of one of the biggest gaming organizations in the country? But alongside that, also, how have they motivated you to keep grinding as a pro player?
Firstly, playing for Goliath Gaming has been a dream come true. Playing for one of the best gaming organizations in South Africa is surreal. Their motivation and guidance has helped me become a better player.
That's fantastic. So, what exactly has been the main things that have stood out being a part of Goliath? Because I've seen you've had a coach by your side at some of your games. Has it been that having a coach has also helped you grow as a player? What else has been there?
Team practices, coaching analysis, mentorship programs, all of these has helped me a lot to improve my game and help me to become a better player.
That's fantastic. And what's been the most important thing while also having these team practices, having these coaching sessions? Because there's one thing about having a coach, but it's also another thing about improving as a player while you have all of this.
I feel like analyzing your games, watching over your games, learning from your mistakes and correcting those mistakes.
So that has been the biggest thing, right? So it's been like sitting down with your coach, going over all of these analysis and problems that you've had maybe. That's fantastic. So going into that, when you talk about also analysis, you're also a schoolgirl, right? You're still going to school, but you're also competing at the same time. How do you balance the two? It's not easy at times when you're competing at the highest level, but also still need to go to school.
Yeah, it's really difficult because sometimes you need to compete, but then you also need to be studying for exams and that. It's really difficult, but I feel like you need to have a schedule and plan your whole day out.
So how do you plan your day out? Is it more so like maybe morning time or maybe morning to afternoon is school and then maybe evening is maybe gaming? How do you work around all of it?
So I go to school from the morning until the evening. When I get back from school, I do my homework and that, and at night, I play FIFA the whole night.
That's fantastic. So, that's maybe like your Monday to Friday. So like maybe Saturday, Sunday, is that maybe break time or is that even more time for you to grind maybe?
Nah, Saturday and Sunday is full grind.
So it's just like no breaks, just going at it. So with that, do you sometimes maybe run into moments where you get exhausted too much, or are you still able to manage yourself pretty well where you are putting in that work, but you're not tiring yourself out?
I feel there's obviously times that I do get tired. That's why I feel like I need to rest at some times, or maybe stay away from the game a little while and do something else.
And with that, what is the thing that you do whenever you're not gaming?
I would say I play football most of the times when I'm not gaming.
Okay. So FC online and then in real time you're playing football. So what position do you play actually?
Midfielder.
Oh, midfield maestro. I love that. So How good are you though? That's the most important thing.
I feel like I'm as good as in real life football than I am as in
So if we went to a 5-a-side, you can take me on.
Yeah, for sure.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So, I mean, after winning AGC, you know, you've won the mall qualifier at Clearwater Mall. You made it in the top 10 as well for MTN Shift. And you also made it now into the top 64 in Africa for the AFC 24 Africa Regional. What's next for you as a player and what are your goals for the rest of the year?
My next goal as a player is to compete internationally and bring recognition to my country.
Ooh, and what's the event that you're looking at to compete in?
Obviously, my goal one day is to qualify for the World Cup and win the World Cup.
That's a really, really big one. But it's not impossible, right? Because your teammate, Julio, actually qualified, was actually the first African to qualify for the FIFA Club World Cup and the World Cup. So is he someone that maybe motivates you to keep grinding and pushing for that dream?
Julio is someone that I really look up to. He's like a role model for me in esports. And I feel like if he did it, then I can also do it one day.
That's amazing. I love that. So, I mean, at only the age of 16, you've done so much, not only for yourself, but for Goliath Gaming and even for esports as a whole and your school. What is advice that you'd maybe give to students that are looking up to you right now, or maybe want to get into esports, compete in EAFC, but don't know how, or maybe are very nervous and don't know what to do?
Firstly, if you're in school, I would say you should balance your academics with gaming because education is also key. I feel the most important thing is to be disciplined, hardworking, and patient because success doesn't come overnight. I feel one of the most important things is that I learned since I joined gaming and esports is that you have to believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself, you already won.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I mean, what are your plans as well for once you finish school? Are you also going to advance your studies while also competing at the same time? Or are you trying to go full-time in esports?
I would say my goal is to study and continue competing in esports.
Okay, that's fantastic. But Hamza, thank you so much, man. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Awesome. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be the show for today. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been Gameplay. I have been Scory. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. But until then, take care and GG, gamers.